Welcome to Winning the War with Worry. We are already to lesson 11. Continuing on in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6, Paul described more precisely how we address God about our issues. He used the words prayer and supplication and the phrase, make your requests be made known. Prayer is a general word for all communication with God. Supplication is a more specific term, referring to asking God for help regarding certain needs. It's one thing to chat with a friend. It's another thing to ask for a favor. When we need multiple favors, we become even more specific and make our requests known. We should pray some more, and keep on praying. As Dr. J. Oswald Sanders once said about a certain matter, there is praying in detail to be done. The Bible acknowledges the diversity of prayer methods when we're told to pray in the Spirit with all kinds of prayers and supplication. Ephesians 6:18. We are to pray the Scriptures. Finding phrases in the Bible is a powerful method of prayer. When we use the words of Scripture in prayer, we're praying as God would have us pray. The Bible itself is an immense prayer book, filled with verses that can be turned into prayers as easily as submitting someone's name for the original wording. For example, if you're worried about a struggling child or family member, consider Colossians chapter 4 and verse 12. Epaphras greets you. He is one of you, a servant of Christ, always laboring fervently for you in prayers, that you may stand mature and complete in the entire will of God. We can always adopt this verse into a prayer for our loved ones by saying, Lord, I'm laboring fervently for, and then name that person, that he or she may stand mature and complete in your entire will. Having found a prayer that meets your need, it's important to offer it with the element of faith. Prayer shouldn't be a hamster wheel of worry. It should be a launch pad of faith. We take our burdens to the Lord and leave them there. Another kind of prayer is everyday prayer. In fact, the most vital prayer is everyday prayer. Charles Krulek, the 31st Commander of the Marine Corps, was involved in Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s. One of his biggest challenges was providing water for the troops. He was always careful to position his forces in areas with plenty of water, plenty of wells. But on one occasion, thousands of troops were ordered into a barren part of the desert where conditions were bone dry and drilling for wells proved futile. General Krulek, a Christian who habitually gathered all his willing staff every morning at 7:15 for prayer, on this day, he and his staff were on their knees praying about their need for water when a colonel interrupted Krulek, saying, Sir, you should come with me. It's important. When Krulek asked what it was, the colonel said, I want to show you. The colonel took Krulek down a road constructed by the Marine Corps, and there, rising out of the ground, was a large pipe about 40 yards from the road. A bar on the pipe formed the shape of a cross. At the base were a green diesel generator and a red pump. There was also a tank containing 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel and 4 new batteries wrapped in plastic. Krulek and the colonel wondered how they could have missed seeing this. 20,000 troops had traveled this road, and no one had reported seeing this colorful well. Krulek went over and looked at the contraption, but there was no key to start the generator. He looked at his officer and said, God did not put this here to be defeated by the lack of a key. He reached over and pushed the start button, and the generator fired up. The pump started, and it began drawing water. There was enough water to supply 100,000 gallons of water each day. Major General Krulek later told this story in Washington, saying there was no way anyone could have driven down that road and not seen that well and equipment painted in multiple colors. That well is the result of prayers of righteous men and women praying in America. The prayers of righteous people have long arms. So don't give up. Keep praying. Pray some more. Use Scripture. Use everyday prayer and see what God does for you. Have a blessed day.